Oh my God.
Damn!
Wow. Oh, look at that water flow. This is my saltwater aquarium, and I have not cleaned it. I have not cleaned the filter in 1 year and 3 months. So 15 months I have not cleaned the filter. So in this video, I'm gonna show you guys my whole setup. We're gonna open the filter and we're gonna see what's inside of there. And the whole purpose of this video is 3 years ago, I went down the YouTube rabbit hole of aquarium building videos, and I always wanted a saltwater aquarium. So every night I would spend like an hour or two on YouTube just watching all these aquarium build videos. And after like 3 months, I figured I did enough research to figure out exactly the kind of build that I wanted, and this is it. And this is the most hands-off, easy saltwater aquarium that I think is possible. Super easy. There's no sump tank. It's so easy, and I'm gonna show you guys right now. Starting with the lights, let's just turn them on so you guys can see my monstrosity of a saltwater aquarium. Now, you will notice there is a little bit of algae growth on the window here. Nothing big. And that is because I haven't scraped this glass in probably three weeks. So maybe once a month I will scrape the glass with this thing right here. And I also have this magnet that I can scrape the glass with. Wow, you see all that junk coming off the magnet? I haven't moved this magnet probably in 3 or 4 weeks, so all this crap is coming off of it. But cleaning the window is very easy. You see like this little bit of growth here? We just put in our stick, boom, shazam, and it's gone. It's like brand new glass. Everything that I have here, I'm going to link in the video description below, but basically I bought everything off of Amazon. So if you end up liking the setup that I have, you can just get all the links from down below and build it yourself. But I feel like there's gonna be some haters because I didn't clean my tank in 15 months. My filter is the Biomaster Thermo 600, and I saved all the boxes of everything that I have, my wave makers, all the things that I used I saved because I knew one day I was going to make this video for you guys. And I'm trying to make this video as something that 3 years ago, if I would have watched this video, I'd have been like, oh, finally, someone that made it seem kind of easy and didn't scare me about how hard it would be to have a saltwater aquarium. Because having a saltwater aquarium, from my experience, has been the most hands-off, easy thing ever. And I got multiple fish in there. They're a little freaked out right now because I was just using the thing. It's beautiful. The water is beautiful in here. The water flow is nice. There's a couple little crabs, a couple little snails. I had an anemone, but I had to take it out because the anemone was grabbing my crabs and eating them. And then it grabbed one of my fish and ate one of my fish. So I took the anemone and I took it out of the tank. All the fish in my tank. So I live on the water here in the beautiful Florida Keys, and I will just catch fish off of my dock, put them in the tank, and I'll just let them get big for like a year. And then once they get too big, I'll just put them back out right off the dock where I found them originally, and I'll just put new fish in the tank. I kind of think of it as a vacation for my fish. They're safe in here. They get all the food they want, no predators, and they get to look at me all day. I mean, it's a win-win. It's a 5-star resort. Boom. So I guess we'll just start from top to bottom, and then we're gonna take apart the filter, and I have no idea what's in that filter, and I'm kind of scared. And the reason I decided to make this video finally is because after 15 months, the water flow has finally stopped. So this is the intake line right here. This is where the water gets sucked up, goes to the back, into the filter here, gets filtered, and then back up. It comes up behind the tank, out here, and then this is where the water flow comes back out into the tank. but there is virtually no water flow anymore. So I think the filter is finally clogged after 15 months. And you might be thinking, Heiko, why would you not clean your filter for 15 months? That is a sin. In the aquarium world, I should be handcuffed right now. And you are right, I should be handcuffed. But I was at a local aquarium right down the road, and I was talking to one of the people working there, and I was like, yeah, I'm cleaning my tank like every week. And he just looked at me and goes, oh, bro, you don't got to do that. He goes, it's actually the longer you leave your filter untouched, you get all these bacteria and microorganisms and little creatures that start to live in your filter and actually help keep your water extremely clean. So the less you clean your filter, it's actually the better for your tank, because there's an ecosystem in there that's filtering your water. And by bacteria, I mean the good bacteria. And he told me that they only clean their filters like every 4 to 6 months at the shop. So 4 to 6 months, I still had decent water flow after 6 months of not cleaning the filter. But then, as I always do, I want to push it. I want to push it to the limit. I always like to push it. So that's why I just kept going. And after a year, I still had perfect water, okay water flow. Boom, pushed it. But then finally, after 15 months, my water flow has completely stopped, and that means my filter is struggling very hard just to push water through it. And I'm afraid that the motor in my filter is gonna burn out because of that, so it's definitely time to clean it. And these aren't that cheap. I forget how much money these cost, but you could just click on the link in the video description and you'll see. I think it's like $300 or $400. Maybe 500, I don't, something around that, maybe 400 bucks. That was the most expensive part of the whole aquarium, was the filter. All right, let's get started. So starting from the top, these are my 2 lights, and these are G5 Aquastar lights, and they perform, at least from my experience, they perform just as good as the really expensive brands. I think that these lights, again, I forget how much I paid for these, but I think they were like 300 bucks for both of them, while the really nice ones are gonna cost you like 800 plus. So, and these can do everything. You can do timers, you can do slow dimmers, you can grow corals under them. They pretty much do everything you need them to do. And it's been 3 years and I've never had an issue with them. They're quiet. They've never overheated. They just, and they produce a beautiful light. And you could change the light from a blue to a white. There's a whole spectrum. So those are the lights that I use, and I really like them. And the way I have them mounted is I actually have them screwed into the wall. So the mount is screwed into the wall, and they come with mounts that can clip to the side of your tank, but for some reason this lip here on my tank didn't allow the clips to properly go on there, so I had to screw it in the wall. Every tank is going to be a little different, so that mount might work for you, it might not. You might have to get a little creative on how you mount the lights, but those are my lights. Now my tank, this is the only thing I didn't order off of Amazon. This is a 75-gallon tank, and it was actually pretty cheap. I think I paid like 150 bucks for it from, it was either PetSmart or Petco. So the way that I found this tank was I just called a bunch of PetSmarts, a bunch of Petcos, and sometimes they have tanks in stock. And I really like this tank. It's very clean cut, just a simple, easy tank. When you order tanks online, they can get really expensive weight. So if you have a local pet store or something around you, that's the best way to get the tank, or find a used one. Yeah, 75-gallon tank. And you can see my, listen, I started this video and I was like, I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm just gonna make the video just so you guys see exactly how my tank is. This is the blower, or I forget what these are called, but they blow the water. So this is actually supposed to be mounted like this to create a nice airflow, or to create a nice water flow. I have another one on the other side. So this one blows the water this way, and then that one over there, this one right here blows the water this way. So we have a nice circular water flow, and it actually works amazing, but it did come disconnected off of here, so you just got to suction cup it back on. I'm not going to do that right now with one hand, but those, wait, where are they? So like all my other stuff, these blowers, or I guess this is called the Sun Wave Maker. You're going to want 2 of these, and these are definitely on the cheaper ones. There are more expensive ones, but 3 years strong. They have never stopped working for me. They work great. They blow the water great. Absolutely love these things, and they keep a beautiful water flow through the whole tank. Can you see all the particles getting pushed? Yeah, that is, you want a nice water flow. And then normally this bar right here would be pushing water like this, and the water would be splashing a little bit, but the filter must be super clogged because nothing's coming out of there. And it's important, however you set these up, it's important that there is movement on the top of your water. You don't want it to be sitting stagnant, because the way that oxygen gets into your tank for the fish to breathe is through the breaking of the surface tension. So you want there to be some kind of surface tension going on, and I have very little right now. Normally it's a lot more. Actually, if I had this set up properly, here, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So normally this would be mounted just like this, and you can see how the water being blown is breaking the tension of the water. That's how it should look. You know, I probably should have mounted this before I started the video, but I just want you guys to see how it really is. So you know what? I'm gonna mount it right now. Screw it. Oh yeah, that is rock hard on there. There we go. So like you saw how this one was kind of just floating there and it had popped off. That'll happen maybe like once a month or every like 2 months. It'll just get loose and just come off, and then you just suction cup it back on. It takes 2 seconds. So it's not really an issue. I don't know if the more expensive ones pop off less. I doubt it, because it's just a suction cup thing. But all right, to the next step. The water. I got my water right out of the backyard, because that is salt water out there. So that is where I got my water from. But if you just go to your aquarium, local store, they sell salt water. That's probably the easiest way to do it. You could try to make it your own. I don't know, watch some YouTube videos on it. There's hundreds of YouTube videos. The rocks you can buy. I actually found these rocks in my backyard. The sand, I bought the sand, and I actually still have some left over. This is the sand that I use, Caribbean Sea. It's live sand, which I think is good because it already has a lot of the good bacterias and stuff inside of it. This is the sand that I used. I think I put in 2 bags of this. These are 20-pound bags, so I got about 40 pounds of sand in there. And then the fish, I would suggest just start out with 1 or 2 fish, and then just start slow. Honestly, in the beginning, I would just build the tank. I wouldn't even put fish in it to begin with, and just put in like crabs, the emerald crabs, the little blue claw crabs, a couple of snails. The snails eat the algae and the crabs eat all the stuff on the bottom. If you just go to an aquarium shop, they'll just put together a whole pile of crabs for you and snails that you need for your aquarium, and just drop those in there, put some food in, and just let your tank kind of marinate for a week or 2, and then you could start adding some fish into it. This right here is a grunt. We actually use these guys for bait while fishing here, so I thought it would be cool to have one and learn their behaviors, since I'm always trying to catch them out in the wild. He's looking at me like he's gonna get some food. All right, now for the fun part. So this aquarium stand I built myself, because it is so hard to find an aquarium stand that matches the dimensions that you need, and they're super expensive. So after trying to find one online for weeks, I couldn't find any online that reasonably priced, and I couldn't find any in a pet store that I liked. So I just built my own, and the front comes off fully. I have the front just attached. I got a magnet there put magnets there so it just clicks closed. But for now, I will remove it. So this whole front part, here's our filter, our canister filter. Then I just have a bunch of little tools in here, a little net to catch fish with, my cleaning tool, a little scooper. I use this to feed krill to the fish. Just a couple of more cleaning devices. This right here is a, oh no. Oh God, oh God. Okay. This thing that I just spilled everywhere, this is our testing kit. This is how I test all the levels. You can test your nitrate levels, your pH levels, your nitrate levels, your ammonia. These are all important things to know. But this is the kind of stuff that freaks people out. They're like, oh, what is all this stuff? Honestly, what I would tell you to do is just buy one of these marine multi-test kit that tests all the things. I'll link this one in the description. And don't even worry about it. Set up your tank, do your thing. Maybe in a couple of weeks, go ahead and test some of your levels in here, but just don't stress about all this. I don't know if that's good advice or not, but I haven't tested the levels of my tank in probably a year or two, and my fish are doing great. So this is more like if your tank is turning, if you can't keep a fish alive, or if you're trying to grow some like very special corals and stuff and that are very sensitive, this becomes more important. But this I feel like is a more advanced kind of thing that you don't have to stress about until you feel comfortable doing it. This big tube right here is how you clean your sand. You just stick it in there, suck on the bottom, and water will come through here. The sand will come up, but the sand is too heavy, so the sand will fall back down and all the junk and stuff will actually come out of your thing. But I haven't cleaned the sand in this tank in 2+ years, so I even forgot I had this in there. You're probably thinking I'm such a bad aquarium owner right now, but just remember, I'm doing this as an experiment. I'm gonna start cleaning my tank every 6 months now, but this was all an experiment. So the lights comes through here. I cut a little cutout here, and that is where I have all of my electronics. I have this, what do you call this? I don't know, extension thing. So that's how I power everything. The blowers, yeah, so I power the canister tank, I power the 2 lights, and then the 2 blowers. So that's five total things that need power inside of this tank. And then here I just have, this is polyfill, extremely cheap, and I think it's used to fill pillows, but this is what I use inside of the filter. Super cheap stuff. Or you could spend more money and buy this stuff, the pre-filtered pads, but honestly, that stuff is like a 20th of the price, and it's exactly the same thing. And inside the filter, I also use these AquaClear Biomax balls. I really like these. I also have a calcium measuring kit. Don't think I've ever used it. And I have a phosphate measuring kit. Don't think I ever used that one either. Oh, Microbacter 7. This stuff, I had an algae problem once, and I poured a bunch of this stuff into the tank, and it really helped it out. It has live bacteria in here that eats algae, and just improves your water quality. Haven't used it in over a year, but in the beginning I did have some algae problems, and I would say the best solution, if you end up with algae in your aquarium, stop running your lights. Just turn your lights off for like a week. If you don't have any corals, just turn the lights off, put in some of this stuff, and don't put in a lot of food. So if you have some fish, just, and I feel bad saying this, but just starve them a little bit for like a week or two, and it'll fix your algae problem. I don't starve your fish to the point where they die, but don't overfeed them. And that's it. That is it. Now let's open the canister filter and see what we're dealing with. One more thing, actually, before we open that filter. This right here is a device that measures the salt, the salinity, a hydrometer, and it'll tell you the salinity of your water, and you just want to make sure that it's at the right levels. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that really go in depth into this. I haven't used this thing in a year or two. and my salinity levels have always seemed to be just fine. And I also found that this thing doesn't really give me very accurate readings, and all of the hydrometers that seem to be really good that people use on other YouTube videos are like 300 bucks. So I've kind of just never really checked my salinity levels, which I think is not really a good thing. But my fish seem happy, and what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take half of the water out of the tank, suck out half the water, and I'm just gonna put in brand new fresh salt water right from the backyard. And I mean, that's already at the perfect salinity level, so it's a little easier for me because I have the water right there. But for you, what I would suggest doing, if you don't want to spend a ton of money on something to measure salt in your water, go to your local aquarium, pet store, and just ask them what device they have that's cheap to measure the salinity levels with, and they'll usually give you a very honest answer. Some really cool places, you could just like scoop a cup of your salt water out of the tank and just, you know, put it in a cup and just go to the store and just have one of the people working there measure it for you. If you live in like a small local place like me, everyone's super cool and they help you out like that. And the aquarium community seems to be pretty cool, pretty chill. I'm not sure how chill they're gonna be with this video. People are gonna think I'm a tank abuser, but I'm not. I'm here for the science. And if my fish ever show any sign of stress or anything, I just release them back into off the dock. But they're very happy. I mean, look, he likes me. He just swims around. He looks at me all day. I feed him the best fish, and they're happy right now. At least I think they're happy. I don't speak fish. But here we go. The canister filter, grand reveal. What do you guys think we're gonna see in here? So when we unplug these, so this is the intake valve going here, outtake valve going here. Wow, I haven't done this in so long, I don't really remember how to do this. Okay, first things first, we're gonna unplug it. Okay, so boom, it's unplugged. Oh wait, there's two plugs? Oh, that's right. This one has a heating unit, so it keeps your water at the perfect temperature. I'm in Florida. I don't really need this, but if you're up somewhere cold, it has a built-in heater. This thing is amazing. All right, I will unplug. Boom. All right, it's been unplugged. Now we want to disconnect our intake and output valve. And sometimes some water spills when I do this, so I'm gonna grab a towel. Or actually, wait, I have a bucket. I have a bucket for this exact reason. So here we go. I think, how does this work again? Okay, oh yeah, that's right. It has a lever back here. Boom, and now it should pop out. Oh, yep. Okay, there's a little bit of water. That was it. And this filter has a handlebar, so it's very easy to just grab it. Woo, it's heavy. All right. Yeah, you see it's dripping a little bit of water out of the intake and output lines because, yeah, but no big deal. This filter is so amazing. Okay. It's big. It's a big boy. All right, so I think first things first, we're gonna remove the water heating unit. Looks good to me. I don't think it even turns on because it doesn't need to. If we're gonna be cleaning this filter, we might as well also clean the intake line and the output line. So let's see here. Oh yeah, oh yeah, we're gonna want to clean that. And then this one. So this is the output, and normally the water comes back out through here and shoots out through all these holes, but whoo, they are a little clogged. Not to worry, we will clean those out nicely. And then our intake. Oh, it's kind of stuck. Oh, it's stuck. I don't remember the last time I did this. This is why you should do this, you know, on a slightly more regular basis. Else you're gonna end up like me and can't get the tube out. Oh, a little bit of wiggling, bam. Okay, I just had to wiggle it a bit, it's all good. Oh God, it's dripping. Woo. Oh yeah, look at that. That is a dirty, dirty boy. All right. That would explain some of the low suckage power. All right, so we have these levers. We already opened this one, which allowed us to take the in and out lines out. We flick this switch, and now this should come out. And this is our first filter. This is where the water first comes through. And I cannot wait to see what is inside of here. Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna need new, maybe I can clean that. Wow. All right, well, I'm surprised. Okay, so the way that this filter works is it has these sponges. I think there's 6 of them, and they are just covered in gunk. I think what most people do is this part of the filter is so easy to clean because you just pop this and you pull this out, and then you can pull all of your sponge filters out. And this is just supposed to collect the big stuff. And I think it would be a smart idea, like once a month, once every 2 months, just to pull just this part out, clean these filters, and then put it back in, and boom, you're good to go. Because the big filters are all inside of here, which we're gonna get to in a second. But this is more of the first stage filter to get rid of any big stuff. Yeah, and it's just filled with gunk. And very easy to clean these. You just put them under water, squeeze them. I mean, these were in there for so long. It would probably be smart for me just to get new sponges. A new set of sponges is pretty cheap, but I mean, look at that. That's pretty clean again. It's not so bad. I'll finish cleaning these sponges real quick. Wow, look at them all. Here, I'll take the last 2 off so you can see. And that's how that works. So these little holes inside of here, and when you first buy this filter, it only comes with a few holes. I went ahead and I drilled another 30 or 40 holes into this thing just to help the water flow. But the way that it works is it sits in here with all those sponges on it. Water from your tank comes in here, goes through here first, goes through those filters, and then that water that goes through these sponge filters to remove all the big stuff, then that water then goes into the main canister where the biofilters are, and I'll show you in a second, but all the other stuff is inside here. So this is basically the first line of defense against crud going through your filter. I finished cleaning all of the filters, and they look pretty good now. They're still a little dirty, but they're as good as I could get. Whatever is left on those guys is caked on there for good. I might be ordering a new set of these, but I think for now they're gonna do great. And to clean these guys, it would be nice to have like a little bristle brush or something. I could kind of clean it like a musket, but I will order something like that. But for now, I have a chopstick, and I'll kind of just, oh yeah, look at all that gunk coming out of there. Oh yeah, chopstick works all right. Love that smell. It smells like the ocean. Our tubies are a lot cleaner. Very happy with that. Time for the beast. I think I'm gonna put the beast in the sink to open it because I don't know what's about to happen here. All right, let's open her up. Oh, okay, top comes right off. All right, so I gotta remember the order that I put this in. So the very first thing is our top plate. We're gonna remove that. Then we have our carbon filter, which is this black thing right here, which, I mean, it looks gross, but it doesn't look that bad. For the carbon filters, I use this stuff right here, carbon filter pad from Aquarium Pond. This stuff is pretty cheap, and all you do is take the old one and lay it on a new piece of carbon, and then you trim it out so it matches the same shape, so it'll fit right back onto this like that. So I'll do that in a little bit, but let's keep taking apart the filter. All right, and this stuff right here, this is the pillow stuff I was talking about, the polyfill. And this stuff is cheap and disposable and makes for a great filter. You know, the tank, this filter really does not look that bad. I thought it was gonna look way worse than this. All right, and that is the first tray. So the first tray has the carbon filter and then the polyfill. Then the second tray has a blue sponge in it, a large sponge filter. That doesn't look that bad either. I'm just gonna be able to wash this and it should be good. Wow, 15 months. This filter doesn't look bad at all. And I do have replacements for that filter right here. When you buy the canister filter, it comes with a bunch of these, but I'm not gonna use those. I'm just gonna rinse out that one and it'll be good to go. And now here's the most exciting part. These are the biomass cubes and they look great. And they have all these tiny little holes in them, and that's where that good bacteria lives inside. You know what? They look prestigious. I have one tray of those, then I have another tray of those. They look amazing. And then the very last tray that I have is these plastic, it's basically the same concept as these, but it's plastic, and I read some really good reviews about these. Now the only problem is they like to float up. Oh yeah, I have two trays of these, but they float, so they kind of end up going everywhere when you take them out. But you see them floating in there, you just scoop them out and put them back in the tray. Yeah, so these are the Biomax balls that I showed you earlier, and that's what is in both of those trays. Love these. And then these plastic ones, I can't find the box for them, but I'm pretty sure I bought this on Amazon, so I'll link these down there, and I'll just call them like the plastic Biomax balls or whatever. But I read great reviews about both of them, so I figured I just use both of them. Get best of both worlds, right? But that is our filtration system inside of the canister. And what's left in here is just water. So we'll pour that out. There's some gunk in the bottom, but really not that bad. It does not look that bad in there. Give it a little hose down. Oh yeah, nothing's even sticking. It's just all coming right out. Everything is nice and clean. Let's put this bad boy back together. So you want to put it back in the same order, and you want your biomass balls and stuff on the bottom. I'll tell you why in a second. Wait, how did this go in there? I think it went in like this. Yep, like that. This tray. Then these guys. And I don't wash these. I took them out, left them there, putting them back in. I don't wash these because they're covered in all that good bacteria. I don't want to lose that or kill it, so I'm going to just leave them how they are. Then we put in our big filter, our foamy filter, and then we put on our top shot, which I have cut out the brand new carbon filter. This is the old one. I cut out a new one, and we're gonna take our polyfill. Let's see how much we're gonna need here. Just kind of like, that's probably good. Just like a handful of it. Then we take our carbon filter and we kind of use it to push the poly in there. Boop, boop. It's looking good. Just like that. And then we put our little tray right on top of that, which kind of keeps it all together inside of there. Yeah, just like that. And there we go. That is our top shot. Where's the lid? Then of course we put our lid back on. Why is it not going on? Okay, it is not going on, which means one of these things might not be stacked properly, which is causing it to not sit. And let's try that again. Yeah, they gotta be stacked just right. Damn it! All right, who's the culprit? Which one isn't stacked right down there? I think it's one of the bottom ones I screwed up. Ah, yes, they click that time. Okay, you gotta get them to click when you put them in. There we go, much better, much better. All right, now it should work. Yeah, baby. All right, and then we can snap it closed. Snap it, snapple, crackle, pop. Then this hole is for the first filter. This is where the water first runs through. This guy, we put our sponges back on. Oh, and then put it in our canister here. Put it in there. Oh, and then we lock it. Bam! Don't forget your water heater. That goes right in here. And that will shut. Okay, good. Make sure it's nice and tight in there. And that's it. Our canister filter has been cleaned and is ready for another 12 months. I'm just kidding. We're going to be cleaning this more often now. The new and clean intake line has been installed, and also the output one is installed. Looking real good. Now we're going to hook up the canister filter and we should have beautiful water flow. And then, you know, I'll spend 5 minutes cleaning the glass a bit. And this tank, after 15 months, is going to be back in perfect working condition. And I'm going to explain just one more time exactly how this canister filter works. Put it back in here. Oh wow, I'm stupid. All right, you see the handlebar? I put the water heater in with, so now I can't close the handlebar all the way because the line to the water heater. But whatever, I'm gonna leave it like that. It doesn't really matter. It's more of a looks kind of thing. But here's our water intake and output. We'll put it in on the top of the canister. Bam, lock the hatch. Okay, one last brief overview. The water gets sucked in through the intake line, goes in the back, comes out here, goes into the filter. It goes through the first stage filter, which was all those black, the 6 black ones. Those remove all the big stuff. Then it goes into the main canister. It goes through the carbon filter, then through the polyfill, which catches any other big stuff left. Then it goes through that big blue sponge filter, which really catches anything big left over at that point. That sponge filter was still pretty clean. Nothing really makes it to that point. And then it goes through all your biomass cubes, which has all your bacteria and all the good stuff, all this stuff that really cleans your water. And at that point, the water should be pretty clean by the time it gets to that. And then it goes back out, up, and out into your tank. Nice clean water, creating a nice water flow. So let's plug it in and cross our fingers and hope nothing explodes. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Plug in the water heater and plug in the filter. Here it goes. Oh, okay, you know what I forgot to do? I emptied the whole thing and I forgot to fill it back up with water. God, like an idiot that I am. Okay, luckily there's a feature on this filter to where, see this pump? You push it and it creates suction, and that suction will actually pull in water. So you can see the outtake bubbling like crazy because we're actually sucking in water by pushing this. And I am so stupid because this actually takes forever to fill up the canister filter. I'm gonna be doing this for like 3 minutes straight. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be doing this for a while. Do you think we have enough water in there to start the filter. Let's see, I'm gonna start it, but most likely a ton of air is gonna shoot out of the filter, and that's not really good for your for the motor in here to be just sucking dry air. But come on, we push things to the limit, don't we, boys? Let's do it. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Okay, and okay. Wow! Oh, look at that water flow! Oh my God! Look at that water flow! I haven't seen water flow like that in. Oh my God! Remember in the beginning of the video, there was no water coming out of there? Look at that! And you see this water flow is breaking the tension, the surface tension of the water, which is going to allow for beautiful oxygen to get through that surface layer and into your tank. That's how you aerate your tank properly. Oh. So what did we learn here? Do not leave your thing running for 15 months and not clean it. But we also learned something else, a very important lesson. And the whole reason that I wanted to make this video is you can do whatever you want. You don't have to follow the craziest instructions. Some people make this whole thing seem so difficult. Honestly, have fun with it. This filter is a beast. That's the other lesson to learn. This Biomaster Thermo 600 is a beast, and I'm gonna link it in the video description below. Those are gonna be all Amazon links directly to all the products. I'm gonna try to make it easy for you guys. I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. I don't have any sponsorships or anything, unfortunately. But yeah, this is, you know, my homemade stand. I got a bunch of 2x4s. I use double layered 2x4s with a third one on the back. You want to have a super sturdy aquarium if you're going to do this, because you're holding a lot of weight up there. But yeah, this is built by myself. Yeah, I'm going to take my scrubber. I'm going to clean the tank a bit, and then I'll show you guys the final results. Also, this is the flipper float. I really like this one. This is so you could clean the inside of your tank. You know, if there's algae on your glass. Yeah, so, and you could flick it over to the other side. Wait. You see how there's like some algae on the glass here? You just bring this guy over. Comes right off the glass. Yeah, that's the, what is it called? The flipper float. Yeah, the flipper float. That's it. I think I covered all the points of my aquarium. I think one day I do want to put corals in here, but at that point you do need to like be testing all your pH levels and stuff, because corals are definitely a lot more work than just having a couple of fish I caught off the dock. So there, you know, you can make this as easy as you want or as hard as you want. Just start off easy and just take it one step at a time, and everyone that comes to your house is going to be like, damn, that looks good. I just wiped down the front of the window or the front of the glass with some Windex. And the reason that the water right now is super murky, I don't know if the camera's catching that, but it's super murky, and that's because I just scraped all the algae that was on that back wall. I scraped all of that off, and I scraped it all off on the sides. So since the filter is running, probably in about 20 minutes, this water is going to be crystal clear. And one thing I forgot to mention is the back of my fish tank is black, and I painted it black to give it a nice black contrasty backdrop. Some people like to paint the back of their tank, and when you paint it, make sure you paint the outside, not the inside. You want to paint the outside of your tank. And the black paint that I used for this, I will also link in the video description in case you're wondering. The biggest lesson that I would give anyone trying to start a saltwater aquarium is do things slow, take your time. When you make your tank, you know, add the water and just the sand, maybe a couple of rocks, add your creatures slowly. If you have an algae problem, which if you're a beginner, you will eventually have an algae problem, reduce the light and reduce the amount of food you're putting in the tank, and nothing happens fast. So if you have an algae problem, it might take you 2 or 3 to get rid of it slowly. So nothing happens fast in an aquarium. That is probably my biggest advice that I can give someone, is Just relax, enjoy it, and be slow with it. And this stuff, the Microbacter 7, this somehow has really saved me hardcore from algae problems. And about 30 minutes later, you can see we got crystal clear water. That filter is running so good. Look at that water flow. We went from zero water flow to beautiful water flow. And if you're wondering what all this crud is on top of the tank, that is actually salt. So you can actually take it and drop it back into the tank. Yeah, that is just salt from the splashing water. It just kind of builds up. But I haven't cleaned the top of this tank in, again, probably 6 months since I've cleaned the top of the tank. So very easy to keep it clean. If you just spend like a couple hours every month cleaning your tank, it'll look great. And I got something special. I just went out to my dock and I caught a bunch of minnows. And I think it's time to feed the fish. There's my grunt. Look how beautiful this guy is. Come here. That is a beautiful fish right there. Let's see how they react to a bunch of minnows. Woo! All right, is he catching any of them? Oh, they're going crazy. Oh, damn. You're gonna have to be faster than that, buddy. Tell you what, fish tanks are so much fun. You can do all sorts of crazy things to them. I personally like just having a couple of really cool fish that I catch, fatten them up a little bit, release them, and just keep the cycle going, you know, catch bait fish, just all sorts of things. If y'all ask enough questions in the comments, maybe I'll be able to put together a bunch of questions and make a part 2 video. If you want to have some fun, go build yourself a saltwater aquarium, and I'm sure you will do a lot better than me. And I promise to all my aquarium people out there, I'm gonna keep this tank cleaned. I'm gonna clean the little filters probably every like 2 months now. The big filter, definitely at least every 6 months. I'm gonna make sure that my water flow, the water flow is always going good. I think that's super important. And I'll probably check the pH levels and ammonia and salt levels and do all that maybe like once every 3 months, just to make sure the tank is running good. And that's my new strategy from now on out. But I really wanted to just push it to the limits for this video that you're watching right now. I wanted to do it, and I did it. I'm happy I did it. And Elliot, can you say like and subscribe, please? Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.